After completing the first half of the Great Ace Attorney duology last year, I was excited to see how the story threads that were introduced would all end up tying together, and luckily I wasn't disappointed. In fact, I think Resolve surpasses the first half of Great Ace Attorney, since it doesn't need to worry about introducing you to the mechanics or characters, and you can just jump right in. Because of that, I would also heavily dissuade this from being anyone's starting point in the series, but with how both games are almost exclusively bundled together, I doubt anyone's going to be attempting that anyway. I can't say much for fear of spoilers, but it felt like the perfect progression from the first half, expertly building on the foundations that were set up for it. With only 2 games worth of time to work with, all of the core cast are properly developed and had satisfying endings, and while some twists weren't that well hidden, the narrative payoff was still enjoyable to watch. I didn't expect Resolve to fix my main issue with the original being the pacing, and it wasn't. Some cases still felt like they were dragging on and were a bit too convoluted, but this time I didn't care as much since A, I was more accustomed to it by this point, and B, I was just more invested in the story that some awkward pacing was a little easier to deal with since I cared more about what was happening. I still think it's going to be a little strange going from Great Ace Attorney back to the start of the original trilogy, since even though that's a chronological order I was going for, since the trilogy is so much older, it might be a crunchy transition. Even so, seeing how much people enjoy the main trilogy, I think that hype will carry me through, and I'm excited to see how that narrative starts next year.